Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of the Jarrett Law Podcast, or as I like to call it, the AJL Podcast. My name is Ashley Jarrett. I go by Jarrett, and I am the founder, owner, and managing attorney of Jarrett Law. The law firm Jarrett Law is based in Ohio, and I focus on estate planning, business formation and filings, intellectual property, farm and agricultural law, and I also do family law consultations, contract review and drafting, as well as a little bit of real estate law. So this podcast is going to be focused on the law, as you probably guessed. I'm going to be kind of breaking down laws into something more digestible for people who did not go to law school or who are not familiar with the laws in the United States. As I said, I am in Ohio, so it is going to be Ohio focused, but I will also try to do some more general legal videos as well. I'm also going to be talking about laws that I think need reformed or how laws are applied in real life, particularly in the area of family law. I will be talking about how it, should probably be applied based on the letter of the law versus how it's actually applied in real life, and then what I think needs to be changed both in the application of the law as well as the actual law itself. I also just want to give a little rundown on myself just so y'all can kind of get to know me and, see where my views are coming from. I am a Christian. All of my, legal views as well as the help that I provide through my law firm is going to be faith-based. I also do flat fees on my law firm because I just really like transparency and honesty. I absolutely understand why my fellow attorneys and other firms out there do not do flat fees, but it's just something that I like to do because I like to make legal help affordable and accessible to everybody. And I also I stay out of the courtroom as much as I can because I want to prevent problems, not create that courtroom drama. And I know that's, my husband was kind of like, well, that's what you think of when you think of an attorney. You think of somebody going to court and yelling like you see on TV, but in real life, that's not how courtrooms work. And it's just, it's a hassle and it creates a lot of drama and pain for people who are in those situations. So a lot of my work, with the wills, the trust, filing your business, checking your contracts, making sure your trademark or copyright is protected, I'm trying to keep y'all out of the courtroom. So all of the things that I talk about on here are going to be from that perspective of I don't want to go to a courtroom and yell at people. I want to make sure that you're protected and you don't have to go through that emotional roller coaster that is going to court. I have a lot of experience working with small businesses, particularly tech companies. I help them with contracts, NDAs, compliance, and trademarks. You have to trademark your logo and that sort of thing, or your name. And I also studied cybersecurity in school. So I got my bachelor's in cybersecurity and computer networks. I started college when I was 16, graduated at 19. I took a year off to potentially go work in cybersecurity. COVID ended up happening. And then I ended up doing a online master's in cybersecurity law. And then right after finishing my master's degree, went straight into law school, also online, because COVID was still ongoing at the time. So I have a lot of experience in cybersecurity law, and I help a lot of, cyber businesses because of that, because I think a lot of attorneys in that field don't really have that background. So I'm really happy to have it. I think the clients that I have really appreciate that I actually know that field separate from the law field. I also have filed trademarks for those companies as well as for myself, and also filed copyrights for, I wrote books when I was younger, and I learned a lot about intellectual property law through that and just protecting my work, I'm also a former foster parent. I have adopted siblings, both in-law siblings and a sibling in my family. So I know the adoption process, and I know how hard it is, and particularly the foster to adopt system. I've gone through that, and really able to empathize with foster parents and people doing foster to adopt or just adoption. It is a rough situation to go through. And I'm not just this attorney who's, telling you the law and telling you what's going to happen. I've been through it, and I absolutely understand the heartbreak and the struggle that comes with that. So, I feel like I'm uniquely positioned to talk about this sort of stuff, and I've seen it from both sides, so that the perspectives that I have and, my point of view on things that I'm going to talk about are coming not just from I'm an attorney, and I know the law, but also I've been on the other side, and yeah, that's really all I have to say about that is I've seen both sides. So I have kind of a comprehensive view of all the things that I'm going to be talking about. And, I wouldn't want it any other way. So in terms of law school, like I said, I did go online primarily. I did a hybrid program, and that just worked best for me at the time, not just because of COVID, but I was also traveling around and helping out my family at the time. And I'm probably going to talk about my hybrid law school experience on my other channel where I do kind of more lifestyle stuff. I probably won't talk about it on this channel just because it's not really law. It's more like the lifestyle of being a law student. But I passed the bar on my first try with a score high enough to practice in any UBE jurisdiction. I did graduate early from law school, and all the people that graduated early with me did pass the bar exam on their first try. So don't let the whole hybrid law school or online law school thing scare you. We actually had a 100% pass rate first time taking the bar. So they prepared us very, very well. So like I just said, I just want to reiterate, I do have portability to any UBE jurisdiction. If you are outside Ohio and you do the research and you say, hey, I'm in a UBE jurisdiction, that means you can help me out. I absolutely can. Send me an email. Like I said, it'll be in my description box below. I'll put my email there separately. It's also on my website, which again, I'll link below. But just email me and be like, hey, I'm in, let me think of a UBE jurisdiction in, I think Michigan is one. I should know this. I'm sorry, I don't know which of the 50 states are UBE jurisdictions. I know Alaska is. We'll do Alaska. If you're in Alaska and you say, hey, I need help, I will do everything I can to get licensed in that state as quickly as possible. There is a process to transfer your score to another UBE jurisdiction. So it will take me a while, but if you really want to work with me, I absolutely can do that if you just send me an email. So I'll just reiterate kind of my educational background. I have a bachelor's degree in cybersecurity and computer networks. I have a master's degree in cybersecurity law, and then I got my JD from the University of Dayton in Ohio. I also worked with the United States Patent and Trademark Office, so that's where my patent experience comes from. I was a patent extern with them for one summer, and I also worked with a Columbus law firm, and then I also worked with some cyber exercises and the Ohio Governor's Expedited Pardon Project. So I've kind of been all over the place, I did get Cali Awards, and if you don't know what a Cali Award is, it means you got the highest grade out of your class. So I did get Cali Awards for Torts 1, Contracts 1, as well as Family Law. And you'll probably hear me talk a lot about family law, super passionate about it. Again, because I was a foster parent and have seen the other side of it, it is not what I'm doing primarily right now, just because it's so emotionally charged, and because I've been on the other side, I struggle with the emotional part of it, which is part of why I wanted to do this. I wanted to talk about family law and what I think needs to change, because practicing family law, I'm not going to really probably change much, but talking about it, I maybe have an opportunity to help people and to change the law or change how it's applied without, getting in these cases and getting emotional, because I think if you get too emotional in these cases, you can't adequately help these families, which is why I don't take a lot of family law cases. I do the little, less emotional things like prenups, which are kind of like before anything bad happens, but once the bad stuff starts happening, for the moment, I think at some point I will get emotionally strong enough to get back into that, but just because of my recent experiences, haven't been doing that. But I'm very, very passionate about family law. I also got a couple of certificates from Harvard and the Naval War College, which was a lot of fun. I loved all the classes I took at both of those schools. It was so much fun. And then, like I said, I am licensed in Ohio. I have roots everywhere, y'all. I have been in Columbus. I've been in Dayton. I've been in Cleveland. I've been in Akron, just everywhere. So, statewide perspective on all that stuff. And again, I'll try to talk more generally about laws and law reform, but it is going to come from that Ohio perspective because I've been here my whole life. And that's where actually I did have a brief stint in Rhode Island, but I have been in Ohio. I've been a, permanent resident of Ohio my whole life. So it's going to be Ohio focused and Ohio perspective. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoy this podcast. I know this was kind of boring. I was just kind of introducing myself and my firm and, what this podcast is going to be. I'm probably going to start with estate planning and probably going to move into, trademarks, copyrights, that sort of thing, business filings. And then we'll get into the really interesting, fun stuff, which is, family law. So I hope y'all enjoy this podcast, and I really appreciate y'all listening.